coming back at right about 2 weeks with this hoof, and things are looking really good so far. Not a whole lot of growth has happened, but I still want to give it a touch up because I want to stay on top of things, and I want this crack slash chip to grow out correctly. Little pocket of thrush I saw right there. I'm just gonna clean this up. I did give him an apple cider vinegar soak yesterday, so that was really good. His bars are good. I'm gonna leave those. Checking my balance. There's still a low spot here where that little bit of a dip is, where that crack was, but I'm just gonna come touching up his heels since we're also working on underrun heels. Bring that across there. Check my balance. A little bit of a high spot right here. Little pocket of thrush right there too. Really, this is more for the underrun heels than the chip because he's not grown that much at all. So I'm just flattening and straightening the heels and reapplying that heel bevel. I'm gonna wrap my arm around and just pull back. Again, not trying to take the surface of the heel, just get those back tubules. Now I'm gonna come in with my nippers, just right. And reapply my bevel all the way around, smooth where that chip was. He's trying to nibble at me. Hi, Dakota. Making sure to keep that toe back here. Round off that toe. And now I'm gonna smooth with the fine side of my rasp. All the way around. There is a little bruising in the white line, indicating right there, indicating some inflammation, probably diet related. Checking out this back hoof, there is not a ton of hoof wall growth and it really looks good overall. I'm just gonna start by getting these little flaps in the central sulcus with my bonsai nippers. And I'm gonna come on the side of the collateral groove, this tip of the frog, a little bit of gunky stuff in there, but overall looking really good. You can see this sole is starting to chalk out a little bit and shed, but it doesn't need to come out and I'm not going to force it out. Oh, good boy. Relax. I'm just going to go over the bars really lightly. I'm gonna check my balance, and there's not a ton here, so I don't think I'm gonna use my nippers for the height of the heels. I'm just going to use my rasp. This is a pretty new rasp, so it's really nice and sharp. I'm using my feet to stabilize my hoof stand. There we go, that's much better. And Just running. Here we go. He's got a little bit of a quarter arch in both these hooves. I did not do that. I don't think I've trimmed this back hoof probably in about 6 weeks. So this is just how he's naturally worn them. There are specific circumstances when I will do a quarter arch, but I often, most of the time, don't recommend doing them. But if the horse develops them naturally on their own, just from the way they're walking, like a lot of wild horses do, that is totally fine. But you don't want to force the horse to have it because it's making the weight bearing uneven. Ideally, you want the whole hoof wall to bear the weight evenly. So I just brought that toe back, and I'm going to come around, smooth my bevel out with the rasp. I'm not really trying to correct any issues in this hoof. It's a healthy hoof overall. I am going to pull it forward and just smooth with the soft side of my rasp, or the less aggressive side. Coming in on this other hind hoof, very similar. Looks like a bit of thrush on this one. I soaked his front hooves yesterday in apple cider vinegar, but I did not get to his back hooves. So I will try and do that soon. Although, upon kind of exploring this, it's really not that bad. Open up this central sulcus here. Good boy. Come on. Again, a little bit of this chalky sole that's starting to come out. I can see this tip of the frog is a little overgrown, so I'm just going to clean that up. Not a lot to do there. I'm going to, good boy, clean up the bars real quick. And I'm just going to bring down and even out these heels. Just using my rasp. I'm not taking a ton of height down. And exposing where my white line is. Shaving off the tips of the tubules. I'm going to check the balance. Now, the main thing this hoof needs is for the toe to be brought back. Hooves are pretty soft right now, but not super soft considering it's winter time. Definitely nicer than summer trimming though. Bevel all the way around. I'll pull the foot forward. Now this hoof has been getting trimmed every 2 weeks because the other front foot is the one with the crack in it. So when I do the 2-week trim, I don't do the back feet every time. So this hoof has been getting trimmed every 2 weeks because the other front hoof is the one with the quarter crack in it. And so when I trim that every 2 weeks, I do both front feet because I want them to be even. I don't want to trim one front foot and not the other one. But I don't do his hind hoof, his hind feet every time. That's why I hadn't done them in about 6 weeks. And I want to get these bars. I'm being more aggressive. I'm being more aggressive about the bars on the front hooves because I don't want them to be, it's being a little bit difficult. I don't want them to be pinching the frog at all. Because I'm trying to get these heels to expand out a little bit. And actually, they're looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how they're looking. So very similar to the other front foot, I'm just going to even out these heels. I don't want them getting sucked under the hoof, so I'm going to be bringing the toe back. Check the balance of them. And again, slight heel bevel. Reach my arm around to do the inside heel. I really want to open up that. I'm going to just lightly go over the whole hoof wall, not to take height down. And I'm going to look. I don't want to take too much height here. I'm actually just going to use my rasp, or not height, bring the toe back too much because it seems like he hasn't grown a lot in these past 2 weeks, and that's okay, but I'm just going to use my rasp, redo my bevel, and essentially bring breakover back just a little bit. And coming forward, I'm going to use the aggressive side of my rasp and bring that toe back just a little bit from the top. And then I'm going to switch to the smooth side and smooth it out. And I'm not going to do any more than that. I'm just going to start cleaning out this hoof. I want to make sure there's no little rocks embedded into the hoof wall. I'm going to take my bonsai nippers, clean up this flap on the frog. Little bar that's building up here. Clean that up on both sides. His bar up here looks good. I'm just going to come in there and get it. Same thing on the other side. A little bit on the bar right here so it blends smoothly into the sole. And I'm going to leave this central sulcus right now because there's not really, I don't see anything too deep in there. And I have a new thrush remedy coming in the mail, so I will keep you guys tuned on that. So now I'm just going to check the balance of the hoof and rasp, not really taking a ton of height, just leveling and smoothing everything out. There was a high spot right here. Come back at this other heel. Still a low spot where that chip crack is. I'll have to get an up close picture in the light to see where we're at with that. And that might not be today, but I still wanted to keep on this regular trim cycle. I'm going to come in with this bevel, especially right here. So I still see that crack very slightly, but it looks pretty surface level as I'm rasping. It's getting smaller. I'm going to come in and rasp the other side. And I don't even think I'm going to use my nippers today. The growth is really slow in the winter for some horses. So a big part of healing this, when you have cracks like that, it's often diet. And right now there is some green grass growing, but it is winter and they're burning more calories, so I'm not putting a muzzle on him yet. I'm gonna wait till the spring. I do see some inflammation in the white line, that red bruising there, but that could probably be from a while ago. It's probably not a current thing. So I'm not gonna be too worried about it. I mean, he's not overweight right now. He has a little bit of a crest, but I don't want him to be underweight and cold. So I'm not, you know, giving him sugary grains or anything, but I am giving him a combination of tough hay and grass hay, and there is some grass growing in the pasture. And because it is so wet and muddy, I'm just gonna leave it at that for this hoof.